Joining us now is the President of Azerbaijan, İlham Əliyev. Thank you for your time. Look, there has been strong and repeated international pressure for a ceasefire and to de-escalate tensions. Fighting's ongoing, if not escalating. What is your objective now in the conflict?
Ceasefire cannot be achieved unilaterally. It must be a bilateral decision, and also it must be implemented on the ground. As you know, Armenia attacked us on the 27th of September, attacking our military positions and damaging our infrastructure, attacking civilians. So far, we have almost 30 civilians killed as a result of Armenian attack, including the ballistic missiles and cluster bombs. So our counterattack was successful. We managed to liberate part of the occupied territories. And our main objective is restoration of territorial integrity of Azerbaijan. Armenia must give us a timetable for withdrawal of the troops from the occupied territories. And this timetable must be approved by the Minsk Group co-chairs, the countries which are mediators. And after that, I think the effort must be imposed on achieving the ceasefire.
The countries that you're referencing have repeatedly asked for a ceasefire. Why isn't that happening now, pushing for that to happen immediately?
Because we've been a subject of attack for many times. During the last 3 months, there have been 3 attacks on Azerbaijan. One in July on the border between Armenia and Azerbaijan, far away from the region of Nagorno-Karabakh. And the goal of Armenia was to occupy new territories of Azerbaijan, and they did not manage to do it. Our army defeated them. Then August 23rd, they sent a sabotage group to commit terror acts against our civilians and military personnel. That also was a failure for them because the head of the sabotage group was detained, and he gives evidences exactly about what I'm saying. And in the end of September, they launched a massive attack on our villages and cities. I can tell you that up to today, we have almost 900 houses totally demolished or damaged, and many casualties and wounded people among civilians. And now, after Armenia is suffering a very bitter defeat, they're pleading for a ceasefire. They made violation of ceasefire themselves. They ignore United Nations Security Council resolutions which demand full, complete, immediate and unconditional withdrawal of Armenian troops. They want to keep status quo unchanged. And the Minsk Group co-chairs, United States, Russia and France, their presidents many times made a statement that status quo is unacceptable. Armenia ignored it, but now Azerbaijan itself is changing the status quo, and I think that will be an important step towards the soonest resolution of the conflict.
Mr. President, civilians have been killed on both sides of this conflict. How do you reconcile that with your aims?
Of course, we regret that civilians are being killed, and of course, we were not the purpose, we were not the source of this attack, because it was the first thing in the morning on the 27th of September, what they did. They attacked our cities and villages, and we had to respond. But our response mainly is, and primarily, is on their military positions, on their tanks and guns, and what we are doing on the battlefield is available in internet. Our drones and our other equipment demolished only military objectives on the occupied territories. Unfortunately, Armenia is using civilians in order to have more people on the ground, because the demographic situation is very bad, and we have video about the civilians being just next to the guns. And of course,
Armenia would be able to say, I'm sorry to interject, Mr. President, that civilians on their side have been killed in this fighting, and they would dispute exactly why it was that on the 27th of September, this violence flared up again. Let me bring you to a promise that your foreign minister made last year that said it was necessary to take concrete measures to prepare the populations for peace. What we are seeing right now is the opposite of that. How are you trying to limit the suffering of civilians?
You know, we are not responsible for this outbreak. As I said, we were subject of a physical attack from Armenian army, which is situated on the occupied territories of Azerbaijan. Apart from that, the current Armenian regime did everything in order to destroy the negotiation process. Exactly 1 year ago, Armenian Prime Minister at a rally in the occupied area of Azerbaijan made a statement that Karabakh is Armenian. And that statement actually destroyed negotiation process because the principles which are on the table and which are the basis for settlement, they demand the return of the occupied territories to Azerbaijan. And when Armenian Prime Minister says that there will be not a centimeter of land to return to Azerbaijan, when he says that Karabakh is Armenia, when they organize illegal settlement of foreign people on the occupied territories, which is a brutal violation of Geneva Convention, they destroy negotiation process. After that, in order to make us responsible for that, they attack us 3 times, July, August and September, and when we beat them on the battlefield, they call everywhere, they make a plea to everyone, stop Azerbaijan. We want to stop, but we want occupation to stop. Therefore, the main message should be to Armenia. We are not on Armenian land, we are on our land. Our land.
One thing that Armenia will say is that Turkey is really providing quite a strong influence here, including supplying things like military aid. To what extent would you say Turkey are accelerating and pushing your country and your actions in this conflict?
This is absolutely false information. Turkey for us is a strong ally, partner and brotherly country. And of course, the statements express their position, and we are very grateful to Turkish government, the Turkish president, Turkish people for this support. But Turkey in no other way is involved in this conflict. Armenia, bringing such a fake news to the media, wants to diminish the capacity of Azerbaijani army. We are fighting ourselves. Yes, we purchase weapons from Turkey, but not only. Our main supplier of weapons is not Turkey, and probably everybody knows about that. So the fact that we buy modern Turkish equipment, including the fighter drones, should not be a problem for anyone, because Armenia gets weapons free of charge. We pay for them, and Armenia gets free of charge. Turkey is no other way
weapons, and we keep talking about fighting here. Is diplomacy still an option? Will you sit down and have talks with the Prime Minister of Armenia to find a different way out of this conflict?
I can tell you that during my term as a president, I had maybe tens of talks with 2 former Armenian presidents and the current Prime Minister. And during those previous debates, we made a substantial progress on negotiation table. We elaborated the principles which today are the basis for settlement of the conflict. And we were constructive. Negotiations are taking place since 1992. Can you imagine? For over 30 years. And we were living with hopes. Mediators were telling us that you should wait a little bit, there'll be more constructive approach from Armenian side. But when this Prime Minister came to power as a result of the coup d'etat 2 years ago, he destroyed completely negotiation process. And I had meetings with him many times. But these meetings were absolutely senseless. And he told me that they are not going to give territories back. They told me that Nagorno-Karabakh must be, adjusted to Armenia. So these absolutely unacceptable demands to me and also unacceptable for mediators. Armenian government should change their position, should refrain from maximalistic position, should stop telling that Karabakh is Armenia, because this is not true and this is destroying negotiation process. And of course, we are going back. By the way, tomorrow our foreign minister will be in Geneva meeting with ambassadors of the Minsk group. And as far as I know, Armenian foreign minister was supposed to go there in the beginning of the month, but he ignored that. He is not there. Our foreign minister is there. It shows who wants negotiations and who was just accusations against Azerbaijan.
President Aliyev, thank you for joining us on this special programme on Euronews. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.